This video, we're going to show you how to receive merchandise at the warehouse for a company that uses, or I should say, for a company that either uses carts but not exclusively, or a company that does not use carts at all, that moves everything with lifts. So when I say the one that doesn't use it exclusively, they use carts for some things, but they also have lifts, and sometimes the lifts are just come out and get stuff. So let's see. We are going to go first to, we have a purchase order that I've made prior, and we are going to go and receive that purchase order. So the first thing we want to do is go to a create receiver. And that's right here. It's I-100. When we open that up, we're going to put the purchase order number that we're going to be receiving from. 8, hit enter, and you'll see it fills in the information when it was ordered, the vendor, and it fills in the receiving date, which is today. So I'm going to go ahead and print a worksheet for myself on this. Click OK, save. I'll show you what that worksheet looks like. Um, Here's a worksheet. You don't need to print this. Somebody would definitely print this if they are not, if they don't use scanning at all in their warehouse. This is what you would use to put things away, write it on here, and turn this into the office so they can enter into the system. So I'm just printing it because I want to get the UPC numbers. But normally you would not print this if you use scanners. Okay, so let's get out of there. The receipt lines have been created for the purchase order, so I'm going to click OK. Here's what's on that purchase order. And for simplicity's sakes, I'm only going to receive a couple pieces. So what's first thing I need to do is let it know which door I am receiving it in. So if I click door here, it will allow me to select any of the receiving doors. Up here where it says default bin, if your company defaults to a certain, let's say, door for all receiving, we can set that up in Infinity and it would appear right there and automatically take you there. And if you didn't change it, that's where it would be. All right, so I'm going to say that I'm going to receive this at door number 10. That's the bin for door number 10. And I'm going to receive, I'm only going to receive those 7 pieces. That's all they sent. The rest of it's going to be back ordered. If that's all I'm going to do, I entered how many I'm receiving there. I'm going to go down here and click post receipt. I need to do that before I can get out of here. Reason being is it wants to make sure if I were to post it without doing anything here, I might assume that I'm going to receive more. It's not going to let me, but I'm telling it, nope, that's all I'm receiving, those 7. So I'm going to click yes, and what it's going to do is it's going to prompt me to print labels. This is another place down here where I could click print receipt, and it would give me again another sheet of paper that would give me the piece IDs for all the items on receipt. So actually, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so here it's showing me that I'm only receiving these 7, and here are the piece IDs. Again, you don't need to print that. I'm doing it because I'm actually not in a warehouse, and I'm going to have to know those piece IDs when I go. All right, so I'm going to now move on. So we go ahead and print the labels, and it's telling me that I'm going to print you 7 labels for the 7 you receive. We are going to print a label type number 21, and if you want to do it or use a different type of label, go here. Some companies only have one label, one type of label, some have more. So we're going to stick with this one, number 21. It's defaulting here for this company for that label. Click OK Save, and print. Just 1 second, you'll hear those printing on my printer. There they are. And I'm done here, so I'm going to escape. Okay, so this takes us to the next section here. And what you're going to want to do here, you can see we're following that dark blue, is Crosstalk. Let me click on that and take you to the Crosstalk. It'll take you to the Crosstalk screen. And so what Crosstalk does, and this is a huge time saver and helps you with your efficiency in your warehouse, is Infinity X is scouring the entire database, or will scour it when I click that OK Save. And it's going to look for truck deliveries for the next day or whatever date you fill in right here. And rather than assigning a task to put one of the items you're going to receive away, if there are deliveries for the next day, it's going to say, don't take it to the racks, move it to the door that delivery is going to be made from. It'll also do the same thing here. If you have these clicked for will call transfers, so if you have will calls for the branch stores that are going to need them for customers, it's going to take a look at those, and it will also send those to the right door rather than sending them back into the racks where they would have to be picked again. If you only want to look for those will call transfers for particular stores, you can do it right here. You can click on any of these and select the store or stores that you want to look for. It's also going to look here in basic stock transfers. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not going to ask for these right now. It'll take a little longer. But as I click OK Save, because this does take a while for it to look for all these things because it's doing quite a bit of work right now. And now that it's looking for it, I'm going to explain the basic stock transfers. It's also going to look for basic stock transfers, and that's something that your purchasing department has designated that it wants to make sure that you have either on your floors in certain stores or in the warehouses in certain stores, stock rooms, whatever you have. And if it sees that Infinity X sees that those are missing from those stores, it's automatically going to generate a transfer for one of those items to get it back on the floor so they can sell it at that store. Okay, so it had come back, and I'll show you what it will look like. There's really nothing here because this is a test database, but if there were other type of tasks generated, it would show them here. So here it shows that we have generated a task for put away, right? All of them right here are going to be put away in the racks. If they were going to a door, it would show, doors here, which door the others would go to. The same thing if it were going to go to a store, it would show them down here in a separate area. All right. So let's get out of here. And the crosstalk was done. Escape from here. Escape from here. And now I'm going to go to bring this little screen up. And actually, normally it would be a small screen. This is enlarged quite a bit. This is the screen that would be on somebody that has a scanner in the warehouse. And so you can imagine if this is a lot smaller, usually on a gun or could be on a tablet, whatever it is, this is what they would be working with. And the way um, Infinity works is you identify yourself as to what your job function is, and it's going to assign tasks to that job function, and you will bring them up when you sign on here. So I'm going to tell it that I'm unloading trucks. Let's just before we do that, let's just review a little bit. That truck came in. It had 7 pieces for us. So we ordered labels for it. Let them know. Let the system know that we're receiving those 7 pieces. Ordered labels for it. At some point, that truck is unloaded and probably put down somewhere at the door there. Someone's going to take those labels and stick them on each of the pieces. And that's really a great way for you to check that you got the right quantities. Obviously, if you've got an extra label, something's missing. If you're short labels, then maybe you got too many pieces, or maybe you put 2 labels on the same box, but something's wrong and you need to correct it. Okay? And so they're sitting there on the dock, and so we're now going to click on the unloading trucks. And here we're going to tell it what we are receiving, which purchase order. And the first receipt on any purchase order is going to be -0, the purchase order number -00. If tomorrow they come with more of this purchase order, it would be 74878-01, 02, and so on for anything else. So here's the pieces that we got. We're going to click save. And when I say click, it's gonna be a touch screen probably, and you'll hit it with your finger on the scanner. And here's what's gonna come up. And what it's asking us to do is, okay, you're gonna scan each the label, and you are going to tell me what you're gonna do with it. And so I'm going to, unfortunately, I don't have a scanner, so I have to enter these numbers by hand. And I'm a typist, so it'll take me a minute. First, I got to find what I did with that paper that printed out with. There it is. Okay. So normally I would scan it, and it would pick up the piece ID on its own, but I am entering it. Okay, so it automatically recognizes a piece, and it says transfer, but it's really what it is a um, it's says transfer, yeah, but really what it's doing is it's telling you, let me know what to do with this. So this is the task that was created, and so I can tell it that uh, I'm going to leave it at the door or if there's a lift that came over and I put it on that lift, scanned it, and let it know that it's going to be on that lift. Could be, and if you were using carts, it would be on a cart, or if somebody, happened to wheel it all the way and dropped it at the aisle, you could say it's at the aisle. Okay, you won't use the bottom one much. I'm going to say that I'm going to leave them all at the door, and I'm going to click continue, and I would do this for each individual one. Now, obviously not going to take you long because all you're going to do is you're going to click piece ID and enter the door number. Whoops, I'm sorry. I think we said door number 10 is where we were, right? And if I click save, then it knows that it's there. I'm going to receive all of those 10 because I know that, no, I'm sorry, it was 7. I'm going to click on multiple piece IDs. So if you have piece IDs that are sequential, I can do from one to the other. And I'm going to tell it first that there's 7 pieces. And let me see if I can find the last one here. And if I got that right and I save it, yes, it'll pick them all. And I'm going to scan into door number 10. I would hit save. And they have now been received and at door number 10. And by putting them there and taking this step on the unloading truck, what that did now is it sent tasks out to all of the lift drivers or whoever the lift driver is, and that task is appearing on their scanner telling them, come to tour number 10, you have these pieces waiting for you, right? And that's where your part ends, and that's where the lift driver's part starts. Um, that is how we do receiving, and we get it to a stage where we are creating a task for the lift drivers to come get the merchandise. And that's it.